Hey guys, Ozhammer number 33. It's me here, Scott, the guy with the hat. Tonight we've got a special guest with us. We've had him on a couple of times before. We've got Todd here with us tonight.
Hey guys, how are you?
Now tonight we're without Dave and Brinley. Brinley is still lost in the warp and really don't care. And Dave has had a last minute withdrawal. He's had a few things come up, and we wish him the best. And we will see him next show with Brinley, so we'll all be back to normal. We've also, unfortunately, Paul Lindsay, who we're supposed to have our chat with tonight, has also had to withdraw last minute. He will be with us next fortnight as well. So we've tonight we're going to compact a little bit. It might be a little bit of a shorter show, but we're still going to go on with our month of Kickstarter and start off with basically some stuff that both of us, Todd and I, have seen over the last 12 months or so that we're keen for. But before that, we'll get into our hobby. So, Todd, what have you been doing for the last?
Yeah, man. Firstly, thanks for having me on again. Look, it's been a bit of a hectic time for me at the moment. I haven't done too much hobby, but I've been jumping into a bit of Shadespire lately. You gotta get in on it. It's awesome. There's just something about it. It's really, really short. You play a game in like 20 minutes.
20 minutes?
20 minutes. It's 3 rounds in a game. You get 4 activations in a game. So it's, you activate a model, move it, charge, attack. And then you get a deck of cards that have your objectives in it, and you play for your glory tokens. And you use your glory tokens to spend on upgrades. And at the end of the game, whoever's got the most glory is the winner. So you gain glory by killing an opponent's model. You gain glory by holding objectives or scoring objective cards at the end of every round. And then you've got other cards like ploys, where you can throw down a card that pretty much just causes an earthquake and makes everybody shift around, or to pick up a model and move it, all that kind of stuff. Fast-paced, heaps of fun, and affordable for the hobby, which is really good.
Which is good for us, basically.
Yeah. And I think the largest warband is like 7 models, which is doable for someone who's hopeless like me and just doesn't have any time. So I'm doing my own little skeleton warband, all in red, because skeletons are red.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And other than that, man, I've been putting together a hobby room. So seeing your glorious things sitting there in the background.
Dude, mine's still in pieces really as well. It's got a long way to go yet, but yeah.
Yeah, man. But that monster table, I've been trying to match it myself. So I went down to Office Works, bought some tables with like the big crank on it, and you can roll them up. They come all the way up to here, or you can lower them down.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. So standing, going to get some of those wobble boards.
I've just got the poverty pack. I just put bricks underneath mine. I believe I've got like 6 bricks underneath my table to jack it up another 6 or 8 inches. Yeah, but that's it.
Yeah, because that's a thing. Like sitting at a hobby table for such a long time, you got to get your table. If it's not the right height, you end up with like sore back and shoulders.
Yeah, it looks like you've got polio. You're like,
yes. And then your lamp, like the lamp, eventually just like comes down to you.
Just didn't over, like just hold it up, and it's not.
I might as well sit on the floor.
Yeah.
So no, that's been pretty much me on the hobby front, man. And I guess we'll talk about it later in the show. But I picked up the BP laser. Paul Lindsay, when he's able to come on the show and talk to you guys about it. I just picked up their corridor set from Kickstarter, and it is incredible.
That would be cool when we get to that.
Well, all right. I'll save it. And I'll put it up later.
It does look cool. Hang on, you missed the picture as well, dude. I've got to see this picture again.
Oh, which picture?
The drawing one.
Oh, right, yeah. Bam. So I think it was said before when I was on the show, I'm a school teacher, and one of my kids who's not even into Warhammer, it's because I got white dwarfs lying everywhere I go. He drew me this.
That's pretty cool.
It's a badass picture. It is so cool.
Yeah.
but he liked it so much he went and nicked it back off my desk, and I had to chase him down and photocopy it.
Get a colour photocopy just so you can have it for yourself.
Yeah. So good on you, Jack. Thanks very much, mate. Big shout out for you at all of 9 years old or 10.
Yeah, that's heaps cool. For a 9-year-old, that's pretty cool.
Oh man, yeah, it's stellar. I'll put it up one more time.
Yeah.
For all that dark angel love. He's even got his little purity seals on there and everything. Purity
seals and the chainsaw. He's gone out there for it.
Yeah. He's ready to slice up some heretics.
Yeah, for sure.
Or loyalists, whoever gets in his way.
So that's you done, yeah?
Yeah, man. Like, not a lot on my front, but
yeah. So
how about yourself?
For me, I've done a little bit this week or this last fortnight. Did a little bit of hobby with the eldest, Miss L.
Mm-hmm.
Glued up some of her Tyranids. I'll throw a picture of her sitting there extremely patiently with her. Oh gosh, she was so cranky, just sitting there.
Was that a Carnifex in her hand?
I think it was, yeah. Yep, it's out in the lounge room at the moment. But yeah, she sat there for like, I swear to God, like 45 minutes just holding this thing. And then she let it go and it'll just start peeling off, like the glue's just about dry and it starts to just peel away. And then she'd just be like, "Rah!" and then hold it back together and like it just sit there giggling like, God, thank God she's learning the hard way for some things, you know?
Yeah. I remember one of the first metal models I put together was an Elder Wraith Knight, Wraith Lord, sorry, long before Wraith Knights, and just having to hold that metal head onto the tiny body, and then going to pull my fingers away, and just the super glue had stuck me to the model, and the head just came away, and I had one stuck to each hand.
That was literally 2 comments on that post. One was wait till the model sticks to your hand, and the other one of the other ones was just, you know, thank God it wasn't a metal one, and you're telling us about straight up the first 2 things in one go.
It's because this hobby is built on suffering
and pain and frustration. What else have I been doing? So I've been priming up a heap of stuff. I got my Hunter that I've been sort of priming up, my little kit bash.
Oh yeah. Okay, so that's the Hunter tank.
Yep.
And
so I didn't like the bit that you get with it, so I sort of dodged up my own.
Yeah, you're gonna have to walk me through this one because I love that thing, man.
It's, to be honest, I don't know where this was just stuff that I had in my bits box. You know, if I'm buying secondhand models, I'll always ask someone, "Oh, you got a bits box, or what else have you got?" You know, just try and see if I can get more out of the trade. You know what I mean? And
from way back.
Yeah, I'm a bits box fanatic, and yeah, I just sort of started rummaging through, and I'm like, God, I hate this, and you know, what else is there? So I just started looking through, and I pulled out basically a turret from a Predator, and then there's like a little scope, you know, rangefinder sort of thing, and then some missiles. I think they're from one of the Marine.
Are they the Storm Talon?
I think it's the Storm Talon. Hang on, where is it? There we go. So yeah, I just sort of sat there and jigged it all together, and then I just put the Imperial sort of insignia there because that's actually hiding a massive gap.
Nice.
The gap is just insane. It looks
those little badges that just like cover up all your faults.
Oh, dude, I got to that, and I'm like, oh, that looks pretty good, and then I'm like, oh, I can't get rid of that gap because I wanted it on that angle, and I got all sooky about it. I'm like, okay, you know, it's gonna look like shit, blah blah blah. And then I found the little insignia. I'm like, oh my God, and then I stuck it on there, and I'm like, yeah, like cheering.
I love it. That could. Are you proxying that as a whirlwind, or are you still calling that a Hunter?
No, I used it as a Hunter.
Yep.
And then I sort of also in the bits box, sort of at the same time-ish, I had all the churchy bits from the Dark Talon that I've got.
Yep.
So that's the Dark Talon. But yeah, I cut the aerials. Cut the aerials off the Nephilim fighter.
Yep.
Sort of trim them down and then put the churchy bits on it, and then I'm going to use the aerials and stuff for the Hunter, and then the air scoop at the top, and sort of put them all together.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, so that's one other thing I've been doing. Hellblasters, still going on those. Did a little bit more of those the other night. Changed my pots over from Citadel pots to dropper bottles.
How did you go with that? Because look, man, if you could help me, my sorting system.
So first, I've got to say thanks to Paulie from Irresistible Force, because he sat with me and sort of talked me through it.
He's a good egg.
Oh, that guy. So I basically borrowed the little gravity feed cup from his airbrush.
Yep.
And got some, what was it? Stuff for the airbrush. God, what's it called? Anyway, some stuff for the airbrush, and sort of mixed it in and thinned them down. And basically poured it from the Citadel pot into the gravity feed that I'd stuck on top of the, basically as a little funnel for the bottle, and you just sort of pour it. And
did you lose much?
No, not a lot actually. I've actually I bought the small ones, the 15 mil ones, and they weren't big enough. I thought they would be. I should have bought the 30 mil ones, the bigger ones. But I would have basically now I've basically got a full set of bottles again. Because once I've thinned it down, basically I don't have to thin them down anymore. Like I still use a wet palette, but I don't use water to thin them out anymore. So,
okay, so you just drop and you're good to go.
Basically, like I use the most minimal that you save so much paint. Like you don't even just put a drop out. You can just like squeeze it a little bit and then just touch it onto your wet palette, and you get like the most minuscule amount of fuck all on there. And you can just use that. Like if you're only doing a couple little small things, instead of like using the wet palette and bringing it out and then watering it and then rinsing your brush and then starting again. Like it stops all that wastage so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. We need to sit down and do it. If you
all right. Because I'm keen, because from what I'm gathering from what you're saying, tomorrow there's going to be a line out the door at Irresistible Force, and Paulie's going to be bent over this table.
Let me borrow it up, bro.
Getting people through bottle after bottle. He's so generous. So, folks, if you do, make your way down.
Yeah, do. Tell him I sent you, and I'll get a punch in the lips next time I go see him. I swear to God. And not only when I was there, I had the corn red, and I'd had it all watered down, and I was shaking it, and then my finger felt wet, and then I'm like looked at my finger, and there's paint all over my finger, and then I just stopped and looked over, and I'm like, guys, what's on my neck? And like I showed, like I put it up on the page, but I had these splotches of red paint like across my neck because I'm just sitting there flicking it like this.
Oh,
across my neck, dude.
No, we've all had painting accidents. Yeah, you can't go online these days without seeing a spilt Nuln oil or something.
Oh, dude, that's the bane of my existence. Smell. I don't do it to the Caribou Crimson. None of the other washes. It's always the Nuln oil.
What's the yellow one called again? I don't know. I used to have a bottle of it, but it spit I had it spill all throughout my paint container. And as you saw, it's like that, big chunky plastic thing.
Yeah.
And I had it in the boot of my car, and I was driving somewhere, and when I started digging through, and my hands are just coming back like covered in what looks like melted gummy bear, because it had candied, and it had gone like this, really
sticky.
Yeah, like this really tacky, thick goop, and it was just stuck to everything.
So it's probably evaporated a little bit, and it's just like
yeah, it was nuts, man. I thought I'd left a packet of lollies in the back.
Yeah. Oh man. So the last hobby thing is probably one of the most. I will say it's probably the coolest thing that I've been involved in the hobby yet.
Yeah.
So last week, I'm part of a Facebook group called WH40K Dark Angels. Now last week they threw up a poll, or not a poll, like a questionnaire basically, to say who would be interested in a mentor-mentee sort of program sort of thing, really. It's sort of hard to explain. Basically, if you want to be a mentor, put your hand up. If you need a bit of help, put your hand up. For anything that's sort of Dark Angels related, list building, understanding meta, basically anything, everything, even to painting and tips for, shading and anything to do with Dark Angels, basically. So I threw my hand up as a mentee. So basically I've gone, look, I'd love to have someone help me out and, help me build lists and understand a little bit more how to play a better game and be a little bit more competitive, and be a little bit happy with my army. So I got teed up with a guy from Boston named Vladimir Malkin, and we've been talking basically for the last day and a half or so, and I cannot say enough about the whole movement with this. There should be
That
more.
sounds like a really positive thing, man. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it really is. There should be more of this sort of stuff in the hobby in general. Now, whoever on the WH40K Dark Angels page, whoever thought of this is an amazing human. It's so basic, but it's very meaningful as well, I guess you could say. Especially to the newer players, not just to Dark Angels, but to the hobby in general. Like if someone's just walked in and gone, oh, cool, they're green, they got plasma, they're stabby, I'll play those guys. And then they've only got to understand the rules and play them well.
Yep.
But then understand the codex and how it plays as well. This thing is awesome. I've basically been back and forth with Vladimir for like the last day or so. And he's more than happy to help me out and share some of what he has learned with me. I've sent him 3 or 4 lists so far of armies that I've used with a mixture of everything. With Nephilims and Storm Talons. It's got got my Hunter in there. I've even played one that's bike heavy. I've played one that's Terminator heavy. I've played a bit of everything that I really didn't. Not that I didn't like, but I wasn't really enjoying the game. I wasn't doing as well as I would have hoped. Is probably the point.
Because we've all played that guy who runs nothing but Ravenwing, but
yeah.
But I guess there's more to Dark Angels than that, which would be cool to see. As you were saying, like what someone else could bring to the table just with a little bit of experience.
Yeah, and it's the other thing that I was thinking with this as well is that because he's in Boston, because he's in the States, they would. The game is fairly simple, or similar, I should say, but the meta would probably be completely different to what they run there, or, what that scene is in Boston compared to what Brisbane is. And hopefully he can, bring a bit, I can bring a bit of that Boston flavor, I guess, or, the way that they play back here and see how that works in, in the local area here in Brisbane as well.
It's funny you say that because I have heard people talk about it before, like lists getting used strictly like this is what they're running at the moment in the States, so this is what's being run over here. And it's like, man, it's like we're all running the same codex. How could it be so different? But it would be really interesting to see like just how it's interpreted, or just as you said, like what's popular in the community over there means that people will be playing differently to match that.
Yeah, so whether whether over there they're playing their Dark Elder differently, or they're playing their Ultramarines differently, or they're playing their Orcs differently to what we play here. That would, absolutely would in turn shift the way that Dark Angels would play. I'm hoping anyway. So
worth having a look. Absolutely, I think the program sounds great, man.
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm thinking about getting in touch with those guys and seeing if we can sort of piggyback off that and do something Ozhammerish as well. Get all the people together that are know, like, and love Ozhammer, and see if we can do something the same, because we want to be about more community focused and trying to get everyone happy, even though it won't always happen, but we do the best we can. But it's it's definitely something cool. So I'll keep everyone updated and see how we go with this, with the mentorship. It's looking pretty cool.
What a cool movement, man. Because that's the whole point. We're all on social media, is to like share and exchange and talk about it.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
What a great use of that tool to then like implement a mentor-mentee. I wonder how many of the other like chapter pages or Legion pages would be picking it up after that.
They need to get on. They need to get on it. It's was if it's such a simple idea, it's just resonated really heavily with me, and with what what we want to do with Ozhammer, basically. So that's Plus, I get to learn a bit of shit about my army as well, which is good. So, which is now my main army, which wasn't before, but that's another story. So,
for those of us who don't have time to read the codex,
I don't need words. I just want to know what points is what.
That's it. Games Workshop should just do like podcasts and videos where they just read the stories from the codex, and then you can kind of like get the fluff from that.
Black Library Live, sort of, yeah.
Hey,
I haven't read the fluff in my codex. Have not done it.
I'm not familiar with Dark Angels overly much. I know enough, but does it change too much between editions?
This is actually the first time I've played Dark Angels at all. This is really my first Space Marine army, so that probably could be why I'm a little bit not happy with the way. Like I played Chaos before, but I had demons and stuff and whatever else. It wasn't just a solid Marine army. So this is my first real go at Space Marine. So I think that's sort of why I'm behind the 8 ball maybe a little bit as well. But see how we go.
Oh yeah, good on you, man. No, that's awesome that you're doing that. I think that's a really cool idea. Speaking, you mentioned Black Library before. Did you see the Black Library horror stories getting popped up?
I did. I also saw Aaron Dembski Bowden tweeting the new cover of his new book as well.
Yeah, the Spear of the Emperor. Emperor Spears.
Big blue dude with a fucking spear. And
look, I'm not gonna lie. It's not the next Black Legion novel, so I'm a bit disappointed. But anything by Aaron is worth reading. And
dude stabbing things with poles, really, like
right? Yeah. I actually like part of the whole thing that's been keeping me from doing hobby lately, as I said earlier, is like the moving into the house sort of thing. But I finally managed to like set up a library. I finally put all my Black Library books in one shelf.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a few.
I'm actually I've only just picked up a bookcase apart from the one up the back there.
Yeah.
The kids stuff on it, but I picked a bookcase up for myself probably about 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I have only got a small amount of Black Library stuff, but it is growing. It's sort of, as the Black Library stuff grows, my Matthew Riley sort of takes a back seat and gets shifted further down. And
well, I found books, man, that I just bought, like the Beast Arises series, the one where they did the 12-part series of books that's set after the Heresy, when the Orcs like come back and just decimate the Imperium, and it's left the Imperial fists like hold the line.
Yep.
Everyone says it's a really good series. I wouldn't know because I haven't read it, but I do own all of them.
They're on the shelf though.
Just this beautiful copy of 1 to 12 sitting there.
Looks cool. Yeah. Never read, never opened.
I'll get to it right after I reread the Horus Heresy for like the 4th time.
Oh, dude, I just audiobook, to be honest.
Yeah.
I do a lot of traveling for work, and I audiobook. Like I'll be in the truck and I'll have it on Bluetooth, and everyone else in the truck listens to it while I'm driving. So even to the point where I've got one of the other guys who has no idea about 40K or anything, asked me for some audiobooks to put in his truck that he can listen to while he's driving as well.
They are really good. I was doing the audiobooks for a little while, and then I ran out of them. But yeah, I enjoy them.
Yeah, so
nice, just easy listening to, and the guys that they get to read them, man.
Yeah. So I'm 4 chapters into Prospero Burns at the moment. I've had the Lightning Tower, the Dark King. So they're 2 short ones.
Yeah.
They're about an hour each.
Yep.
I got Primogenitor.
Did you listen to Primogenitor?
Oh, dude, I love Primogenitor.
Okay, so that book cost me. What am I standing at the moment? Yeah, it's going to be about $120 by the end of it. Oh. I'm building a Fabius Bile because of that book.
Wow, dude! And the thing that got me hooked on that book is like, old mate comes in, does his thing, and gets there, and then the first scene where you actually come across Fabius Bile, he's sitting there or laying there, Chirurgeon over the top of him, laying there.
That's right. Yeah.
On his own surgery where he's cutting tumorous growths off himself.
Yes.
And I was going, oh, that's so cool. Dude, I just went, like, I went back and re-listened to it and went, like, I did it about 3 times to just, because I'm like, is that what I think it was?
Yeah.
I'm pretty, like, and just kept going back and I'm like, oh my God. And then from there, for me, the book was just cool. Like,
it was a really good read.
Yeah.
I actually, you know how people talk about like how like there's a lot of hate for Ultramarines, Dark Angels. Everybody whinges about certain legions being like, you know, ham-fisted.
Yeah.
But then you go read the Heresy and they're like, oh, they're actually really, really cool back here. I felt like that was Fabius got the opposite treatment.
Yeah.
That book, for me personally, gave him so much more as a character.
I was about to say, it's so much more, as a character, the thought processes that he goes through and why he does what he does and the way that he does what he does.
Yes, yeah.
Dude, it's insane.
Oh man, Chaos Space Marines, just so many different reasons why they are the way they are, and just getting to read stories like that from different points of view.
Yeah. And what was my Talon of Horus as well? I've got that on audiobook as well. And
that's the first ADB one on the Black Legion, yeah?
Yeah, dude. That was like, if you want to start some shit with some people, read that book and you'll know how to start some shit with some people. Like,
again, another book that almost cost me a lot of money because as soon as I put it down, I was like, doing Black Legion.
Yeah, like and that's another one that I went back and listened to again. You know, like, I'm gonna, spoiler alert, blah blah blah. People have probably read it or listened to it, but when you get someone to psychically throw a ship at a fucking planet, like, he's like, because he's sitting there talking about, throw the spear, do it now. He's like, oh, you're not helping. No, like, he's just come out of like 6 months of trying to drag this big thing with him.
Yeah.
And he's like, throw the spear, and then I'm like, hang on, that's a ship. That was his ship. Like, and anyway.
Man, if you like that one, get onto the sequel.
I've got that, and I haven't listened to it yet. I picked it up in the last probably couple of weeks, but I haven't listened to it yet.
I ate that book.
Yeah.
It was like 3 days, and I was traveling at the same time, so I was always up and moving, and still just every chance I got, smashed it. It is such a good read,
dude.
And it's a really it's the same, I guess, again, going back to it, the same as what the Horus Heresy is doing. It's telling the story that people know, but telling all the details that no one had any idea about.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Damn. All right, we need to get to what we're actually here for, I think.
True. It's so easy.
Let's get on to some Kickstarter stuff, yeah?
Yeah, man. All right. Well, as you were saying, we were having to dig around, weren't we?
Yeah, we did. So 2 that I found. I'll do one first, and then I'll let you throw one, and then mine, and then we'll go to your last one because you've actually got it with you. So
yeah, I do.
So the first one that I found was actually successfully funded and backed in this year, February 2018. I went at 172% back, which is pretty good. From a company called TinkerTurf.
Yep.
Now they're based in Seattle, Washington. Now what they've done is gone out and done laser cut 2 mil board, pre-painted. When it's packaged, it's actually in 12-inch in cubes. Basically, it's a 12-inch square, and they stack 5 or 6 in, and it's just a little 12 by 12 cube shrink wrapped package, and you take it out, and it needs minimal glue. The majority of it's slot together. It's interchangeable with other parts as well. This one is probably suited a bit more to Necromunda than 40K ish.
Yeah.
Because the way that they've sort of marketed it and shown the pictures is that it stacks up and it's high, so it's like the 3D Necromunda.
Yeah.
You could use it sort of like on something like my board with the Manufactorum and all the other things that I've got, because I've got multi-levels and all this sort of stuff on my board. You know, it would fit in okay, but as a set by itself, it would probably be better for Necromunda. But it's like I said, it's still awesome looking terrain, and the paint scheme and the way that they've done the painting is really, really good. You know, full color, shaded. You know, it's even got like parts where it looks like metal chipping off and things like that. It looks really
nice.
good.
And all on just like 2 mil card, you said? 2
mil NDF, yeah, laser cut 2 mil NDF. So it's, yeah, I'm actually a little bit annoyed that I didn't come across this earlier, because I probably would have backed it myself.
Yeah.
You know, it's yeah. What else have I got on here? So 12 inch squares, yeah. So minimal glue. The put together time is fairly quick, and I think that's all I've got for it. Yeah. So that was my first one, but yeah, for Tinker Turf. So yeah.
Oh yeah, that sounds really cool, man. I think I was eyeing that one off because, you know, we were talking about picking two, and I had to go digging for one.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of hey, there's
the one that I wanted.
Yeah, I did. There's so much stuff out there, and obviously, you know, you get varying qualities, and some are a lot better than others. But that one did look really, really nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, for my first one, this is gonna break away from tradition, so you gotta pull me up if I'm stepping out. But I don't know whether it would be ideal for 40K, or even in, you know, your 41st millennium style gaming. But it looked so cool, and the idea was really original that I didn't know I couldn't just let it go.
Yep.
So this one was actually funded. I'm pulling it up for myself now. This one was funded quite a while ago. And if there's anybody out there who's able to dig up some information better at the internet than me, it's by a company called Stonehaven Miniatures. So I think they've got a model range out. Looks like they've got their own game style or whatever it is. But it is a pop-up terrain kit. Which pop up like a pop-up book. Like, so it comes as a folded tile like that, and then you just pull it apart, and the terrain itself like springs out, and then
it's a legitimate pop-up book,
like a legitimate pop-up book, and it is a 3D like hard card pop-up, and they go through the videos. Sadly, I think it actually was quite a few years ago now that it got funded. But just looking on their page here, they where does it say?
Oh, so for the last 12 months, from like what, 2016 or something?
Yeah, I think I think 2014 even. Like, this is really going. Yeah, this is really going back. But the fact that they asked, they had a pledge goal of 3,000.
Yep.
And they got over 36,000 pledged to them.
Wow, so that's 10 times over. So
that is an exceptional amount of money coming in.
That's actually a pretty low target as well. 3,000.
Yeah, but for literally just a kit that is, I'll have to put a link on the page later.
Yeah.
But so I play D&D, and we don't really do a lot of you know, we don't do a lot of like tabletop style with it, because you know, like it's a lot of hard work, especially because you've got to cross so many distances. But to have just little features that you can pack away in such a small space, and they go, oh look, we're going to a ruins, open up ruins.
That'd drive your narrative so much better to actually have something in front of you. Like a ruins or a tavern, or you know, it's something that you can see and, you know, move around and move towards or whatever. That's
even just for the visuals, like not just necessarily to interact with, but just to go, oh look, here's what it looks like. And in the video he does a nice demonstration where he puts like 6 pewter models on top of the card, and then 2 big resin trolls, and they just sit there and they hold it. Like, there's no instability. It's not wobbly. It's not
really. So it's got decent structural integrity.
Oh yeah, like it holds its spot. Yeah, it's really good.
Wow.
So
those-
again, a really old one. Having trouble actually finding them at the moment. The store says on the Stonehaven Miniatures website, it looks like they've only got one up.
because the Kickstarter shows a few, doesn't it? Like,
yeah, there's at least 5 on the Kickstarter. And the detail on them, it just looks fantastic. So yeah, that was my first pick.
Yeah, we might throw that one up in the comments, or in the notes for the show after we've done here. That'd be cool.
Oh, look, man, even if it inspires someone else out there to go and do the same thing, but for 40K, like, you know, it's an awesome idea. I think, pop up just the storage idea of that alone.
Absolutely. Like, say for this, like, you'd have 6 or even 12, or do them 12 by 12.
Yeah.
And on here, that's 4 by 6 is 24 pieces, and then you can just fold them all up and then stick them on the bookshelf.
Yeah, that's it, man.
And then, next, like, have 3 or 4 sets or whatever. That sounds really cool.
Yeah. So that was my first one.
Cool. My second one is called Sector 0141 from a company called Dark City Terrain. Now, these guys are an Australian one. They were funded fully in December 2017. They went to 114%. So they didn't hit many stretch goals. I think they hit 1 stretch goal. But they're...
oh, wow. I just pulled up a picture of them.
Yes. So it is unpainted, though. That's the difference between these guys and the Tinker Turf ones. But they've said that everything is completely interchangeable. They've got, some little boxes and shipping containers as like sort of scatter terrain. But this one I would be happier using as a 40K terrain. It just looks a little bit better done. I guess that could be for the way that they've painted it up themselves as well, to market it that bit better. But, they show during their movie in the intro and the photos, they've got a whole heap of Eldar models all over it. And, they've done one part where it's spread out on a 6x4. They've done one where they've stacked up, a little bit higher for necro sort of stuff. It just looks a little bit better. These guys have done theirs on 3mm MDF. So it's a little bit thicker. So probably a little bit more structurally better because of the way that they do it. Because, they can spread theirs out, where the other one is, it interlocks and sort of gets its structural integrity from interlocking with itself, where this one is a little bit thicker, so it can freestand a bit better. So yeah, these guys went, where is it? Yeah, so that's pretty much it for mine, because I couldn't get a lot of information out of these guys.
Yep.
So that's probably my second one. It's a little bit shorter than my first one, but yeah, it's fairly similar to the Tinker Turf, but it looks a lot better spread out and would probably be a lot better suited for a 40K manufacturer sort of industrial tabletop set.
I just did a quick Google search and it took me to the Kickstarter page, and I'm just looking at it all stacked up together like that.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, and even the stairs between levels and stuff, and then the platforms as well. They've stacked in, like, they've got the higher platform and then stacked in on top of the platform as well. There's heaps of different ways to set their stuff out. There's really no guidelines on how you have to set it. It's completely modular and do it whichever way you want, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and not like, I'm looking at the prices of them too. They're actually fairly reasonable.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Like, well, you do get up, starts getting up into the hundreds of dollars, but you can get a fair bit.
But when you start looking at like a full table's worth of terrain for $300,
yeah,
I can tell you right now that this behind me has cost me probably double that.
Yeah, you don't want to admit it, do you?
I don't, because I'm thinking about it and it's hurting me inside. Like, not just the plastics, but I picked up the Imperial City set. Yeah. I think I picked that up for a couple of $100 secondhand, but it was brand, you know, it was still on sprues. And then I've got, you know, the baseboards plus the plastic heart plus all the other bits and pieces, glues, paints, balsa wood, you know, everything else that I've done for this. I'm probably well into, you know, like I said, $600. Whereas, you know, this, you've got all your stuff set out and you just need to spend a bit of time with an airbrush and you're pretty much done. So it's pretty cost effective.
Yeah, it's.
Whereas, you know, this, you've got all your stuff set out and you just need to spend a bit of time with an airbrush. And listen to that echo in the background.
Oops. I clicked on your face. You want
to click on my face? God, you're better than that. Clicking on my rude head.
So is this me number 2 now?
Yeah, you're number 2. Now we can spend a little bit more time on this because you've actually got it in hand.
All right. Let me.
We're going to have Paul Lindsay on tonight, who is the guy, basically.
The guy, yeah. So the plan was obviously to get Paul on and have a chat, but it's good to know that he when I spoke to him, funny story, I funded the Kickstarter campaign for BP Laser's corridor set.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the top tier one, the $330 one, because I saw them at BrizCon, and as soon as I saw it, I was just like, "That's fucking awesome!"
All of those things right now.
At that whole table, I wanted
all of these ones.
Me. But man, what a legend! On a Sunday afternoon, he personally delivered it to me.
Sweet, like hand delivered,
there was a knock at the door. There was a knock at the door, and I was like, "Oh, Sunday Arvo, like who could that be?" And it was, I didn't know who it was. And he was like, "Hi, I'm Paul. Here's your Kickstarter thing." Wow,
that's cool.
Yeah, man, like real friendly guy, just really genuine, really nice, and that kind of service, you know, that's
straight up, yeah.
As someone who's dropped $330 on something, to have that, it's a nice personal touch.
Yeah, obviously, is a good kit, but the guy has just gone. Deliver it because I can.
And obviously, couldn't happen to everybody because of the location, but the fact that he did it was really nice.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to pull this up now because.
Oh, look, you're being careful. You can tell you're being careful while you're trying to hold it.
I haven't glued it together yet. And if it breaks, I'm gonna cry.
You're gonna have a bad time.
So BP Laser have been producing this corridor work. Now this is just a T intersection. So this is one of the most basic components of it. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on it because obviously when Paul gets on the show, you're going to want to bombard him with questions, and he seemed really excited to be able to share that. So I won't steal his thunder in that regard.
Is that brown stuff? Is that painted, or is that like that laser burning thing?
That is laser burn. So I'll see if I can bring this up nice and close. All right. So the whole thing has been cut and designed to just easily slot in, and just with a touch of super glue, it would just go together without any hassles at all. The wall components are all double reinforced.
Oh, wow.
Like, that's a wall.
Dude, that's cool. And it's not just a straight up wall. Like, it's got that taper on it, and it looks.
And like, that's not even going into, like, where are they? Like, you get all these little, these are so cool. Like, tiny little cards. But they've got like cogitator systems on them, and they've got detail. So it's like little hazard signs.
Oh, dude!
Look at this one. There's a little control panel.
Oh yeah.
So man, there's so much detail on it, and the floor as well. I will pull this one apart.
Even just having that little 45-degree at the bottom of the wall, like it's something small, but it makes a whole lot of difference visually for it.
So that's like this bit here where all the detail is. That's the corridor width, and then there's all that extra space where the wall sits. So you can see that, you know, you've got plenty of space to bring the detail. It's not hanging over. It's all kept within there.
Oh wow!
And then I've got a little marine here. Let's see if I can stand him there. So it's actually wide enough to fit. Like I tried it before. You can fit two 30mm marines side by side, no dramas at all. That means you're playing games in like Space Hulk style with Terminators, with Dreadnoughts. Yeah, really, really cool stuff.
What's the thickness on it? Like 2mm, 3mm? What's it like?
You'd have to check. Probably a good 4mm on that, maybe. Not quite.
And even the edges are being burnt and coloured.
Yeah, man. It is quality stuff. Like I get that it's just like MDF, but the level of work and care that's gone into making sure that these come together.
Yeah, there's like throwing some shit on MDF, and then there's this like.
Yeah, and you know, like I've had to jam a few pieces in, and it's felt like, oh, is that going to give? But no, there's been no frayed edges. No, you know, you get like that.
Yeah, the fraying. I've got that. Some of my baseboards on this, like the edges will fray a little bit if you bump them a little bit.
Yeah, and you get like that, you know,
that old
scuff mark there.
Yeah.
None of that.
Old school MDF problems. Yeah.
And now, if you like, okay, if you want to see just the crazy level of detail that BP Laser can get to, go to their website and look at it. They're not only like the corridor set has reached its crowdfunding goal, but they're doing like rooms now. So they've got army barracks, they've got a hangar, there's a bridge, there's an engineering bay. Like there's all these rooms with huge amounts of detail going into it.
See this now you're talking about rooms and like big rooms and bridges.
Yeah.
That's sort of flicking me to buying, you know, blocks of wood and then starting double level stuff with stairs and then bridges over other.
He's already got you on there, man.
Oh, dude.
You can get staircases and like blocks. They're like crates that hold up sections. They're built.
That's it, yeah. So you can like go upstairs and over and shoot down into like just like the hangar or whatever else.
Yes.
Just arc up.
All done. You've got to get on there and have a look at it. It is phenomenal. Taking like the whole 41st millennium, or even just, you know, not just for Warhammer, but for any kind of sci-fi, you know, close confines thing.
Star Wars Legion, like this would go great for that. Like it's.
So I'm being delicate with this one, and I'll pull it up for you. I've got to show you this, but this is probably the coolest thing I've ever seen. This has been the best investment for my hobby. So this is a vault door.
Oh, cool.
All right. So the walls clip together, and this part here, there's a wall that covers here.
Yep.
But this part actually perfectly fits to your T intersection wall. So bang. And you'll see that there's like a little, oh no, you won't see, but there's like a little gap here.
Raised floor, yeah.
Well, in the little baggie with all the stickers in it, there actually comes a bit of cardboard that looks like deck grill, so that it's like a step up onto the next tier.
So it's actually to put a bit of a gradient into that sort of.
So you're not left with this ugly spot of wood with no detail on it. You stick a card down and you're good to go.
Why are you showing me this shit?
Dude, there's details that get stuck to this. I'll see if I've got the photo of it. That's what it looks like when it's all done up with all the details. Yep. But man, just the sheer fact that I have a vault door.
Oh, that's cool.
That locks into place like that.
So what's that little bit on the left-hand side there? What's that for? Or is that just decoration or what?
This bit here. This here?
Yeah.
That's the gate that stops this from tipping over. That actually is like a little channel that this can roll in and out of like that.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, man, it's outstanding. I've just started playing with this since yesterday afternoon, and I put those 2 rooms together. I haven't glued anything yet, but I've got long corridors like this long. I've got T-intersection rooms. I've got big corners. I've got small corners. Like, it's huge. And because it's all interchangeable, you can do whatever you want with it.
Just mark it all up between from one game to the next. Like there's just modular, like the rest of the stuff we've sort of been talking about. Just flick it around wherever you want.
It, man. And then when you actually you go on and you have a look at the other things that BP Laser do, like once you've assembled this thing and you've built your corridors and you start adding rooms, like you'll never run out of things to do with it.
Get bored of it, yeah, for sure.
And that's not even touching on the other stuff. This is literally just their corridor project. Like, they've got giant pyramids. They've got a city terrain piece that's kind of like this semi-futuristic like rail yard.
It's sort of making me wish I didn't start this shit behind me, and I should have just dropped some money on BP Laser.
Man, like they've got a sci-fi train platform. It's like, I'm not a train guy at all, but this could actually make me a train guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get on once we finish tonight and have another look. Hey,
they are well worth your time, and the quality of work is outstanding. I've already contacted Paulie Adams from Irresistible Force, and he's going to be helping me do some airbrushing and painting this up. Although wood color just looks nice.
I don't think you really need to. It looks pretty cool, neat as it is. You know what I mean? Like,
there's no smudging. There's no damage or sloppiness to the work. It is all high quality. Yeah, it's gorgeous, man. Wow. Best investment in this hobby ever for me. I'm really looking forward to getting a table together and being able to play a game.
I'm jealous right now. We need to you, me, Brinley, and Dave. We need to tee up and do something with it.
Playing against Brinley sucks though, right? Especially in narrative.
He just prints everything.
Well, it's normal narrative sense. You'd be like, oh yeah, space horror. There are demons in your brain. Brinley's like, I shoot myself in the head.
Yeah, no one likes Brinley in narrative ever.
No, he's
just shit.
Yeah. No.
You've got this big demon, blah blah blah. Okay, so I shoot the window beside him and suck him out. Well, thanks, you just fucked my day. Now what?
Yeah. You flick through your notes like.
Oh, hang on. Speaking of Brinley, he's just getting us a message. Who's the guy without the hat?
Oh,
the new guy without the hat. You've been told. I'm thinking he's lining you up as the hobo's apprentice.
I have found a beanie for the next time I'm on.
All right.
I apologize. It's just that at the moment it's kind of full of gyp rock and concrete dust.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh damn. So that's pretty much it for your BP Laser, yeah? Yeah,
well, look, man, if Paul being able to come on to the next show, I'm sure he's going to have a lot more to talk to you guys about, the whole process on, obviously from the perspective of someone who started a Kickstarter and had to go through that personal little ordeal. I think
that'd be just a headache to think of it, 2, to back yourself, and 3, to get it into motion, and then the logistics and putting the whole thing together is just, I'm keen to pick his brain.
Kudos to the guy, man. The second that it all went through, he messaged everybody. He kept people updated about when it was going to get shipped. Like, I didn't feel as though there was a huge unnecessary wait between.
Yeah, you weren't left out of the loop, basically. Yeah, because I know Kickstarters will, it'll be 9 months until you get your first sort of, hi, thanks for backing the Kickstarter sort of thing, and
yeah. No, it was a really good experience, and my first Kickstarter experience as well. So that was awesome.
No, that's cool.
Yeah,
definitely keen.
Absolutely, man. I'm gonna have to encourage him now to do like a dungeon style one, so I can get fantasy going as well as 40K.
Yeah, see, that'd look cool, like those walls done with like cobblestone rocks and.
Yeah.
Oh,
In all the rooms would be like dungeons, or you could do like a pit with a tentacle monster in it, and like wizards towers.
Oh, you know what? He's probably got it in the works. We just need to get it out of him next.
We'll pick his brain. Otherwise, do you want to start a Kickstarter?
let's just encroach on his IP and
No, we'll leave that to the people who know what they're doing.
Yeah, I'd rather just hand the money to the man and say, make me the stuff.
That's it, man. Just make me my my multi-purpose modular board that I can throw money at and put together.
Make me the cool burn wood goodness. So, yeah. Well, I think that's us.
Yeah, man.
I think we're all good, yeah? We've done your two, we've done my two. We've had a bit of a chat about other crap.
Yeah. Even got sidetracked by awesome books.
Yeah, I did. Don't get me started on that again, please. All right, well, yeah, we might leave it there. So that's it.
Cheers for having me, man. That was
good, man.
Yeah.
All good. So yeah, that's pretty much Ozhammer number 33. So Todd, thanks for being here.
Not a problem, man. I'll probably come hang out and bug you guys when Paul comes on.
Yeah, we'll definitely get you on, and hopefully by then we'll have Brinley and Dave back, and we'll be a full crew, and we'll go from there.
Brinley will be back from the middle of nowhere eating stray cats and chickens.
Yeah, eating out of garbage and being like Oscar the Grouch and shit back from the warp, wherever the fuck he is. But yeah, cool.
All right. We're gonna have to rehome him. He's gonna be all feral.
Yeah, running water's gonna be a bitch for him, isn't it? Oh, don't you just like pain him out when he's got no way to come back on himself?
Just, communicating like a human being.
Yeah.
Going through that, it's gonna be like Tarzan and Jane. Oh shit! I just broke my kick.
Oh shit!
That's what you get for blowing it. All right, man.
We're gonna cut it there before we get into too much shit. All right, guys. Once again, Ozhammer 33. Thanks to Todd. See you in 2 weeks. We'll have Paul Lindsay on from BP. Oh, sorry. God, here we go. Yeah, so we'll have Paul Lindsay on in a couple of weeks on the next show. And that's about it.
Yep.
See you guys later. Catch ya.
You guys, thanks, Ozhammer.